Okay, so, as most people with the 5700 XT knows, AMD's drivers are just lovely. Um, Ever since, for the last, I don't know, week or so, I've been having weird problems and random crashes with this box. It's nothing special. It's a 6700 non-K with a 5700 XT. Usually it does just fine, but as of late, been having game crashing problems. I upgraded drivers a couple days ago, thinking that it would fix it. Well, I went from glitchy graphics to crashing, um, which, quite frankly, with AMD's drivers right now, shouldn't surprise anyone. So, see if we can reproduce this for everyone real quick. Far Cry 5 to kind of demo this because it's been by far the most consistent in causing it to crash. Sometimes it takes a run or two, but we can always get something. Sometimes it glitches, sometimes the computer hard locks, sometimes the game just crashes. Let's see which one we can make it do, just to kind of demo that we do in fact have a problem. Yeah, kind of see it right there. Me not even getting to the game this time. If we don't get into the game, we're just going to reboot. I think we can call this the black screen of doom. Yep, workstation is reporting that my desktop is no longer available. Let's reboot and start working on the fix. Or what I hope is the fix. I have the theory that the problem's not actually the card or the driver, but it's the software that's wrapped around it, the AMD Adrenalin stuff. So let's extract just the driver, rip out everything else, and put just the driver on with no software. And see if we can't make this thing behave. Right here on my desktop, we also have driver device uninstaller from Guru 3D downloaded. So before we boot in the safe mode, we are going to use 7-zip to extract the software. We're going to drag this over here, and then we open this up. What we have is the extracted installer. If we look around in here, we should be able to find just the drivers. So now we are going to reboot into safe mode. Minimal, we're going to click apply, we're going to click OK. We are going to restart. We will log in. And if you can't tell by now by the giant letters, we are in safe mode. We are going to use DDU. We are going to tell it to uninstall, clean, and restart. This will remove all traces of the AMD software from the system. System's going to restart, and it's going to come back up into safe mode again. Log in. I'm going to type my password correctly. I'm realizing why when most people do demos, they take the password off the computer, but this is my daily driver, so I need to leave that for now. Actually, let's do it the easy way. Apps and features. I don't see any AMD software anymore on the computer. Okay, cool. So if we go to Device Manager, we should see under Display Adapters a Microsoft generic display adapter. So if we right click on this and update driver, browse my computer, let me pick, well, no, we're going to browse. We are going to find that folder that we extracted earlier, and we are going to search for the display driver. This will install just the driver, none of the extra bloat, just the driver. There's that. And then, if we really care, those are all fine, they're just not starting. Cool. So now let's go back to nsconfig. Let's go to boot. Let's take it out of safe mode. Let's click apply. We'll click OK. We'll click restart. This should bring it up, and let's see if I have my full resolution. And if we do, we will fire up a game and see if it actually runs now. So we'll boot it up. So if we look now, we don't see any of the AMD software, but if we go to display settings and we go to advanced display settings, we should see we have a 5700 XT, and if we go to device manager, we see the same thing, and we see the driver. So now let's fire up Far Cry again and see if we can actually get through a benchmark run. And if this works, I guess we'll have to play for a while and see what happens. Now this was crashing in other games too. I play Halo weekly with some friends. That crashed after 20 minutes too. Again, like I said, I'm mostly just using Far Cry 5 right now because I've been able to most easily reproduce my issues with this game for whatever reason. And benchmark. It already seems smoother, if I'm going to be absolutely honest. Oh, that seems markedly improved. Let's fire up Afterburner and get the overlay running and make sure that this just wasn't some kind of a fluke. We'll make it more like how I usually run the game. And sometimes I get a couple runs out of it, so let's see what happens. So back. Oh, there it is. What was that? I'm just impatient. I expect this computer to be fast some days, and it's not. So let's test in the benchmark again. We're going to reloop this a few times and see how things go. And yes, I know the GPU gets a little hot doing this, but there's short runs and I have the fans toned down on it on the machine so that you don't have to listen to all the noise. Okay, let's do this one last time just to kind of see if it's stable. And then I'll kind of recap things we, while this last run runs. You know, 3 runs through a benchmark does not make a stable box, but at the same time, that's more than I was getting before, so we've at least made progress. Um, I downloaded the latest AMD drivers, and I used 7-zip to extract the package out to the file system. Um, the exe in this case is just a wrapper for a file system, and it just kind of knows what to, and there's some software magic in that knows what to do. I also made sure I had DDU from Google 3D on my desktop. Once I had both of those things done, the package extracted and DDU downloaded and extracted, I rebooted into safe mode using mfsconfig. There are multiple ways to download, not to download, but to reboot into safe mode. That's just the way I prefer. It's the easiest. It doesn't take any button smashing as the box boots up. Once it boots up into safe mode, I use DDU to remove and clean all the AMD drivers and softwares off the box. This also triggers a reboot. Upon reboot, I went to Device Manager, found the Microsoft generic display adapter, that is the 5700 XT with no driver, and then manually installed just the driver from the extracted AMD software package. Then I rebooted, came up into Windows, um, came up into Windows, verified through a few places, Device Manager, Display Properties, Task Manager, that my 5700 XT was seen, and then I fired up Far Cry 5 to run the benchmarks to see if I could reproduce my issue with the new driver. Like I said, kind of going into this recap, 3 runs does not make a stable box, but it seems to be running smoother, and I don't have the glitches and the green screen of death and all this kind of stuff that I had before. So it looks like I at least made an improvement. Hopefully it will for you too.